Ed, welcome to another video on Exchange 2016. In this video, part of the series, we're going to be taking a look at creating your mailbox databases. This can be done in two ways, PowerShell or with a GUI. Now, the GUI, for some people, they like it, but you're actually very limited to what you can do in the GUI versus what you can do in PowerShell. And it's actually a lot easier in PowerShell. And it becomes a challenge when you're not familiar with PowerShell and the admins lock access to the ECP because of surface attack or security attacks on Exchange, which means you're forced to use PowerShell. But nevertheless, let's take a look at this, right? So if I log into the EAC, Exchange Admin Center, head over to servers, databases, you can see that I already have two default databases that gets created every time you install an Exchange server. Generally, these are removed and you use your own stores. So to kick off with the GUI installation, if you click on the plus sign, I can call this store 1, for example, and I will put this on server 1 or server A. Now you can see that it already creates a path for you where you can store the EDB and obviously where you can store the log files. But what I've done is I actually went into the C drive, created a stores folder, store 1 with logs, so the EDB can live here. So to show you, you can copy this and we can pretty much remove that and paste it. And then if we do the same with the logs directory, we can then just delete all of this, the default. Now generally you would obviously put this on a mount point. You wouldn't put it straight on the C drive unless you've got direct attached storage, but then again, most people have SANs to cater for redundancy and for expansion, etc. There you can see name, server, location. I'm going to untick mount for now and I'm going to click save. So it's telling me that it's created, but it's giving me a warning saying that we need to actually go and restart the service. Now I'll restart the service in a minute. I just want to do the PowerShell version of this. So there you can see my store 1's created. Perfect. What I can do now in PowerShell, so the Exchange Management Shell, which you can find under Start Microsoft Exchange Server 2016, and there's your Exchange Management Shell, and it's always started in elevated mode. This one was just an example. I was checking something. Right. So we type new mailbox database minus name, and we're going to call this one store 2. Right. Minus EDB file path. Now in this case it's going to be C stores store 2, and we're going to call this store2.edb, and then we're going to use the log folder path, which will be C stores store 2 logs, right, and press enter. Now you can see that I actually forgot to put the server in because I want to show you that the command will not finish until you actually specify a server. So in this case it's going to be my A server because I don't have the folder structure on B yet. And it is now created, and as you can see you've got the wonderful warning again to say that you need to restart the service. Okay, if I do a refresh in the GUI, I can see that they've both been created. If I head over to my services, services.nsc, now remember, in production you can't just go and restart a information store, so best create your stuff as you need them, and then if you do need to restart it, do that after hours. You don't affect everybody, or move your DAG across and then do the restart. So I'm going to restart the store. Do a refresh again. Now I wanted to show you same thing. I can go here, click the little 3 dots, and I can say mount. It's going to give me a warning, yes. Just let it update. And if we go to PowerShell now, and I'll say mount database store 2, it will then basically do the same thing. Just give it a second. If we go refresh, you can see the store 2 is mounted. So there are 2 ways for you to be able to manage your storage, your databases. You can also add copies from here, but I would advise that you get familiar with PowerShell, because like I say, some companies will start disabling the EAC or Exchange Control Panel completely, and then you are forced to use PowerShell. So best to get familiar with it, and then it doesn't seem like such a big shock, because everything that you've done here is PowerShell driven. It's just you can't see the commands because you haven't enabled them yet. Thank you very much for watching.